Okay. Hi. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. This is the kickoff meeting for the third edition of the hands-on MOOC. And we are here today to tell you a little bit how this MOOC is. We also want to say that we already have more than 2,000 people registered from all over the world. I think in total 120 different countries. So we're very happy to have so many people on board and willing to learn about the hands-on MOOC and the Learning Design Studio and all the approach that we are presenting here for educators. Okay, so with us today we have Yeshai Moore and Roger
La base de
and
datos de
Mireia.
temas ha sido actualizada.
Oops. Please, can you mute your micro while you're not speaking? Okay, so we have Yeshai and Roger who are from the hands-on team, and then we have also several facilitators that will be helping with the MOOC and facilitating in the different languages. We have Shanti from Greece, Pencho from Bulgaria, Keithian from English, and Irma, Gloriana, and Densil, and they will briefly introduce themselves afterwards. So I want to start with telling a little bit about the hands-on MOOC, and I'll sharing. Okay. Okay. So this is the we are all here because we want to talk about the hands-on MOOC. It's a MOOC about creating a learning activity to introduce and include ICT in the classroom. And it's a 5-week MOOCs that it's offered under the Hands-on ICT project, which is a lifelong learning program project funded by the EU. Okay, so the basic of the MOOC, it's as I said, 5 weeks. It's going to start on Monday, but from today you will have available the first week activities, and it will end on November 28th. Okay, so every week there will be a set of activities and then a convergent session in the different languages. Okay, what will you get out of it? So it's a MOOC designed for educators. It's a continuous professional development initiative, and the idea is that you design a learning activity using ICT and with ICT. You will get one batch per week, and by the end, if you follow all the MOOC, you will get 2 final batches, the designer one and the peer mentor. And also for those that finish, they will get a certificate of participation. All these badges are compatible with the Mozilla Open Badges, and you can put them into your backpack. The main output, besides these badges and this certificate, it's a ready-to-use ICT-based learning activity that will be adapted because you will have designed it following your educational challenge, the context of your teaching, and your students. So we think that the learning process is the main output for you, and also this activity that you will be able to use in your classroom. Okay. The Yeshai Moore will tell you more about this, but the MOOC follows a learning design studio approach, which is a design process to help educators design courses and learning activities. It's an empiric and iterative process, and I will let him introduce you more about it. How much time do you need to participate? Okay, so the truth is that it's really up to you. You can do all the activities. You can just be lurking and looking at what's being done. Or you can follow the course at your own pace. If you plan to do everything, we expect about 4 to 5 hours per week, and you will get the badges by doing 80% of the course. And the most important activities are the peer mentoring, which is a key aspect of this MOOC. Okay, it's international. As I said, we have more than 2,000 participants, and we are getting about 100 participants every day. We have about 123 different countries from all continents, and these are the countries that have more people enrolled from: Spain, Greece, France, Bulgaria, Colombia, Canada, UK, Mexico, and Trinidad and Tobago. So we wanted to challenge you and make it possible that your country also appears on the list, but raising the numbers from your own country. Okay, it is also multilingual. The MOOC is offered in 7 languages in parallel. We want to remind you that the materials and the activities are all in English, as well as the surveys. So you need to be able to read a little bit of English, but you can contribute and communicate in 7 languages. That's French, English, Spanish, Catalan, Greek, Bulgarian, and Slovenian. And this is why we have a group of about 30 facilitators from all around the world that will help with this MOOC and help you in the process of learning about Learning Design Studio and building up your learning activity. Then we will listen to them, that they will introduce themselves, and if you go to the Hands-on ICT blog, you can also see the video, which is very nice because it's a longer presentation of all of them. Okay, so as I said, a very, very important part of this MOOC is about learning from each other. It's study-oriented, which means that we will all be providing feedback and reviews on each other's work. And it's also about peer mentoring. Each week has a mandatory activity on peer mentoring. And this is because it is very useful that we all learn from each other. We are all peers, and most of you are educators and have experience, so it's very important that you have the opportunity and that you really share your experiences, because that's part of the learning process. Okay, and just to finish up, I wanted to summarize very briefly the MOOC in 10 concepts. As I said, it's targeted to educators from all sectors. We have mostly secondary, primary, and higher education, but overall we have people also from adult learning and all the different sectors. So don't hesitate to join us because you are from a different sector. It's really open to everyone. It's hands-on, so you will be doing activities and working on different activities, and not just it's not about reading, it's about doing, right? It's a design process. That's what the Learning Design Studio is, and it's a design process that is iterative, and empiric. So you will be asked to redo and refine your activities and your outputs, and you will be asked also to test these activities and your outputs with other people. It's international, as I said. We have the MOOC in 7 languages, and we have people from all over the world. It's about introducing ICT in education. It's about peer mentoring and learning from each other, and really giving us each other feedback. It's multilingual, and we have a large group of really amazing and well-trained facilitators that will help through the process. So I wanted also to thank them all today. Okay, so continuing with the kickoff, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, and I will ask the 3 first facilitators to introduce themselves. So maybe Shanti, you want to go first because you have been here for a while?
Okay. I will do it in Greek, of course, for the people for the participators from Greece. Ονομάζομαι Χουλιάρα Ξανθή, είμαι εκπαιδεύτρια ενηλίκων και διευθύντρια ελληνικού σχολείου. Ήρθα σε αυτό το ανοιχτό μάθημα καθώς ήθελα να δοκιμάσω κάτι διαφορετικό στην εκπαίδευση. Και με τα βεβαιότητος, μετά από την προετοιμασία που έχουμε κάνει, σας καλούμε κοντά μας, γιατί θα δοκιμάσετε μια νέα μεθοδολογία. Είναι το Learning Design Studio, το οποίο ασχολείται κυρίως με το πώς μπορεί κάποιος να μάθει από το συνεργάτη του, να αξιολογήσει το έργο του, να δημιουργήσει κάποια ανατροφοδότηση και ένα υλικό που μπορεί να χρησιμοποιηθεί με πάρα πολλούς τρόπους. Υπάρχουν πολλοί διευκολυντές, οι λεγόμενοι facilitators, μία από αυτούς είμαι και εγώ, οι οποίοι έχουν ακριβώς αυτό το ρόλο να μας διευκολύνουν στις διαδικασίες έτσι ώστε να φτάσουμε στο τελικό αποτέλεσμα. Χρησιμοποιούμε λοιπόν προϊόντα που μας δίδονται ήδη, αλλά αξιοποιούμε και τα δικά μας προϊόντα, τα οποία θα αποτελέσουν μετά από κάποιο διάστημα εργαλεία εκπαίδευσης. Εύχομαι σε όλους καλή επιτυχία. Είμαστε στη διάθεσή σας σε κάθε περίπτωση που θα μας χρειαστείτε και θα τα λέμε μαζί τις επόμενες 5 εβδομάδες. Good luck and success.
Thank you, Shanti. Thank you for your words. And now I'll introduce Pencho from Bulgaria. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. And I am switching now to Bulgarian. Здравейте, уважаеми български участници. Казвам се Пенчо Михнев. Асистент съм по електронно обучение в факултета по математика и информатика в Софийския университет. Добре дошли в курса. Курсът ще бъде наистина интересен, защото съчетава два подхода. Единият подход е научният, другият е дизайнерския подход, който се базира на практиката. Курсът е много интерактивен, с много обща работа, с интересни задания и прилага един подход, който е извлечен от практиката и е свързан с основните стъпки при разработването на качествено обучение, което да бъде по мярката на всички участници, които вие познавате в вашия учебен процес. Така че желая ви да имате търпението, да имате усърдието и да извървим заедно пътя от началото до края на този курс. Благодаря ви и добре дошли. Welcome in the course. Thank you.
Thank you, Pencho. We will now introduce Gloriana, who will speak in Spanish for the Spanish speakers participants.
Hello, everybody. Mi nombre es Gloriana.
No se te oye, Gloriana.
Hola, ¿me escucha?
Ahora sí. Ahora mejor, gracias.
Hola a todos. Mi nombre es Gloriana Ancheta. Yo soy de Costa Rica. Yo soy especialista en tecnología educativa. Tengo un máster en tecnología educativa. Actualmente trabajo como productora académica en la Universidad Estatal a Distancia de mi país. Además, trabajo como especialista en aprendizaje virtual en otra universidad y hago investigación en uso de las TIC en la educación primaria, secundaria y universitaria y de adultos en diferentes instituciones y ministerios de mi país. Ahorita estoy haciendo una investigación en el Ministerio de Educación Pública. Y estoy para ustedes, estoy disponible para todo lo que necesiten y espero que podamos aprender bastante en el MOOC.
Gracias, Gloriana. So, Yisha, it's your turn. Oh, the micro now.
Yes, I have to always remember to unmute my microphone. Very nice picture. I want to be there. So I'll share actually the introduction page from the first module 1 or the first week presentation. This is a page from the MOOC. I don't know how many of you have already gone into the MOOC, but if you go in, the first page you see is the home page or introduction page, but then there's the modules, which are effectively the individual weeks, and I'm looking at week 1. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because there is a nice diagram here that illustrates the Learning Design Studio model, or actually the underlying pedagogy of design inquiry of learning. Design inquiry of learning draws on one hand, ideas of learning design and design-based research in education. On the other hand, on ideas of user experience design and user-centered design, and on this notion of inquiry-based learning. So, if you think about inquiry-based learning as a very effective pedagogy that we use with children to get them to learn science, we're doing the same in terms of us learning how to use technology in our teaching. So the cycle really starts with you imagining something that some change that you would want to see in the environment in which you work, right? This is really very much embedded in your own practice, and it starts from you thinking about, here's something that I would like to see happen differently or better or in a new way, or I'd like to explore if here is some need of the learners I work with that isn't addressed. The next phase is what we call the investigate phase, and this is where you do some analysis both of the actual situation in which you work, and this is probably close to what a lot of you do anyway any day, but the difference is that you do it in a slightly more conscious and rigorous manner. So you take some notes, you sort of create representations of your learners, their constraints or desires, the environment in which they work, other stakeholders and players in that environment, and then when you have a clear picture of the context in which you work, then you can refine that dream of yours and phrase it in terms of concrete and measurable aids. The next step is to look at what other people have done. So that's what we call the inspire phase, where you look either at scientific results or at case stories or even at newspaper articles or project reports, anything that seems relevant to what you're trying to achieve. So you look for examples of people who have tried to address similar problems in a similar context and understand what they did, how they did it. And we call that inspire because that really gives you some ideas which you use in what we call the ideate phase. So the ideate phase is where you really brainstorm and flush out ideas about how to make that thing that you imagine, how to make your dream come true. The idea is really to stay very kind of fluid and creative and not get into too much details, not starting to think about, okay, I will use this piece of software because it has this option and I'll click this button and then the students will click that button. But really stay at a higher level conceptualization and actually test your ideas at that level, at the idea level. The next step is then to prototype this, to create a very rapid implementation of part of your ideas, part of what you are what you're planning to create, and that implementation would allow you to test your ideas. Again, the idea is really to get some feedback either from your peers, from experts, or even from your learners, to get that feedback as soon as possible so that you can really change your plans, change your design, and really refine and improve before you go into the full cycle of implementation. So after you do the prototype and you collect some data or get some feedback or conduct some observations, we go into the almost final phase, which is where you evaluate your design and then finally reflect on the whole process to consolidate what you've learned. Now, in the MOOC itself, there's more videos and resources which introduce this model in much further detail, and we'll walk you, as Muriel said, we'll walk you through the process step by step. At each step, you can see that you will do most of the work, and you will produce some artifacts, and you will get feedback from your peers and from us on those artifacts. So I'll stop here. This was just a very quick overview, just to give you a sense of what's what lays ahead. Okay. Any questions quickly, or shall we move on, Maria?
I think we'll be looking at the questions and answers, but now we can move on. And if we have any question, then we will go back to it. Okay. Thank you. Laurence, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Okay, so I'm going to start in French. Bonjour, je suis Laurence. Je viens d'une formation universitaire en gestion des ressources humaines, mais j'ai fait tout mon parcours professionnel en éducation. Donc après des années d'enseignement et puis de gestion de programmes de formation, Je suis retournée aux études en maîtrise en éducation, spécialisation en formation à distance. Actuellement, je m'intéresse particulièrement au MOOC et je suis inscrite à 2 MOOC. Particulièrement celui-ci. Celui-ci m'intéresse particulièrement. Pourquoi? Parce que le Handsome MOOC est un atelier pratique qui va vous permettre d'améliorer vos pratiques. Vous, en tant que participant, vous allez développer toutes les techniques de design d'activités pédagogiques. Et donc, vous allez aussi améliorer votre enseignement par la même. Concrètement, donc pendant ces 5 semaines, vous allez développer votre projet et toutes vos activités selon vos attentes. La beauté aussi de ce projet est que vous allez travailler aussi entre pairs. Donc, je vous souhaite un bon MOOC. Merci.
Merci, Laurence. Casey Ann, do you want to introduce yourself? Can you unmute the micro? Yes, okay, now.
Hello, my name is Kathy Ann Daniel Gittins. I am an instructional designer with the University of Central Florida in Orlando, Florida. I work with teachers, usually online, doing professional development, and I will be a facilitator for the English language cohort of this MOOC.
Thank you, Kesian. Denzil, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. Warm greetings from South Africa. Let me briefly introduce myself. My name is Denzil Chetty, and I'm currently an academic at the College of Human Sciences at UNISA, the University of South Africa. My interests reside in the use of technology to innovate learning experience and expand the learning environment. And 2 things for me that is critical from this MOOCs. The first aspect is the issue of adaptability, how technology can be adapted, and I think what's critical for me is the idea of sharing user experiences and context-driven, and that's what is quite critical for me within this MOOC, is to learn how different experiences shape the integration of technology. Thank you.
Thank you, Denzil. So now we will introduce Roger Griset from the UOC. He will be showing us the Canvas environment and how will be using it. As you might know, the Canvas is the main environment for the course, and there will also be the ILDE where the learning activities will be done, and then afterwards we will be using the Google Hangouts as today. So Roger, if you want to start showing a little bit the course environment.
Okay, I'll start showing you the Canvas. I hope you can see the Canvas interface now. So I will log in, password, and you can see here the home page of Canvas. First of all, we have to go to the course Design Studio for ICT-based learning activities here in courses and groups. Can go here. Sorry, just a second. Okay. Okay, this is the home page of the course, and you can see here at the left the 3 different pages you can go. A home page with the video and a little explanation of this course, and the more important page here, the modules. We can see here all the activities we have to do during this course. There is 1 module for each week, and in the week 1 you have to do all these activities, and at the end of the week you can win a badge if you realized all these activities. There are different icons here. This is an icon for a page with information. This is a discussion. This is an assignment. The assignments are peer mentoring activities. The peer mentoring activities are in different modules. There is a different module for each language. So if you can see here a page is an example, the page which I showed before. And if I return to the modules page, we can see here a little check because we have viewed the page that was all required in this activity. We can go to the activity. It's a discussion. All discussions have a group for each language. Okay. I will go to the Catalan group because I'm Catalan, but I'm not subscribed to any group. So I will have to return to the Design Studio, okay, and go to the People page here. And view user groups. And here I can join any of these groups. I will join the Catalan group, join this group. Okay, I'm in the Catalan group now. I can switch to another during the course if I want. I suggest you to speak with your facilitators if you do that, because there can be some problems with the badges. And we return to the modules, the discussion, and the Catalan group. And this time I can see the activity. It's closed now, but it will be open in the 27th of October, and well, you will see that you can do some contributions here. We are now in the group page. You will see that this page is a little different. The navigation, the menu on the left is different because this is the navigation for this group, for the Catalan group. We recommend to go always from this page. Again, you see link here again to the home page of the course. We recommend this because it's easier for navigation. Canvas, it's a very big environment, and it's easy to go this way, always through the home page of the group. And I think this is all. I don't know if you have any questions.
Thank you, Roger. We will leave the questions for one.
Okay.
Yes. So if you are a facilitator, you should have the role as teaching assistant. If not, if you're a participant, then you should be a student. Jean-François, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. Hi, hello everyone. I'm Jean-François from France. Very excited to be participating in this multilingual MOOC. That's quite a new experience. I've been asked to make a short presentation in Catalan, so that's another experience. And as I'll be a facilitator for the French community, I will finish with a few words in French as well. Mais comme català d'adoption, es un gran plaer fer aquests efforts de parlar en català. Visc a Barcelona des de fa 8 anys. Vaig arribar aquí com investigador en biologia. Ara estic acabant una nova formació la del màster d'educació ètic de la Universitat Oberta de Catalunya. M'interessa particularment el tema de les noves formes de suport pedagògic per l'aprenentatge obert en línia i com fomentar la participació als MOOCs. Abans de terminar en francès, desitjo a la comunitat catalana un molt bon MOOC, una molt bona participació en la seva llengua, que vagi molt bé i fins aviat. Donc, bonjour à tous, juste quelques mots en français pour souhaiter la bienvenue aux participants francophones dont je serai un facilitateur. Juste quelques mots en français, n'hésitez pas surtout à profiter au maximum des discussions en français sur la plateforme Canvas. L'équipe de facilitateurs y sera pour vous guider et vous suivre. Donc on se retrouve très bientôt. Très bon MOOC à tous et have fun. Thank you.
Merci Jean-François. Je vais répondre aussi à une question que nous avions tout à l'heure. Donc la formation sera en français, donc les participants pourront écrire et se communiquer en français, mais tous les matériaux et les activités sont en anglais. Donc voilà, je voulais répondre à cette question. Now, do you want to go next, Dimitra? Do you want to introduce yourself in Greek? The micro, you need to unmute the micro because we don't hear you. On the Google
Now?
Hangout, now yes. Great.
Okay. Καλησπέρα και από μένα. Ονομάζομαι Δημητρακοπούλου Δήμητρα. Είμαι συντονίστρια της ελληνικής ομάδας και θα ήθελα και εγώ από τη μεριά μου να σας καλωσορίσω σε αυτό το σεμινάριο. Θα είμαστε στη διάθεσή σας για οποιαδήποτε πληροφορία και στήριξη και θα απαντάμε καθημερινά σε ερωτήσεις σας. Το υλικό θα διατίθεται στα αγγλικά, αλλά μπορούμε να απαντάμε στα ελληνικά και να εφαρμόσουμε όλες τις δραστηριότητες στην ελληνική γλώσσα. Συντονίστρες επίσης ελληνικής ομάδας θα είναι η Ξάνθη και η Μαρία. Θα σας ευχαριστώ πολύ και καλή μας αρχή. Thank you, Muriel.
Thank you, Dimitra. Now it's Paul's turn. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, sorry I came in a bit late. My name is Paul Taylor, I'm based here in the UK. I've been teaching for a number of years at different levels from university down to secondary level, high school level I suppose you'd call it. And in the last several years I've been involved in e-learning, predominantly supporting Moodle, which is the open source VLE system. And currently I'm working for an organisation which awards certificates, and that's part of the reason I'm involved. And I'm looking forward to participating with everyone, particularly across the world. I think it's a really exciting opportunity and a great team to work with. So looking forward to working with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you for your introductions. Before I close up the session, and I let you, everyone, if you want to add something, I'll let GT introduce herself in French or in English, or however you feel more comfortable. GT, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but can you hear me?
We can hear you, but we don't see you. But you can introduce yourself. Oh,
okay,
no.
Perfect.
Hi.
Well, hello everyone. I'm Judy. I'm from Montreal. Je suis de Montréal, Québec. Je vous souhaite tous la bienvenue sur le MOOC 3 en espérant de vous voir tous participer sur le forum. Si vous avez des questions, n'hésitez pas à n'importe quel moment de nous envoyer des courriels ou des messages ou même sur Skype. Ce sera un plaisir de vous répondre à n'importe quel moment.
Merci. Then I'll just, so the MOOC officially is starting on Monday. For those of you that are not still registered, you can go to the handson.eu and select the join us option. I will now share my screen so that you can see where the warm-up activities are. So until Monday, well, from today you will have the activities open. The first week activities open that you can have a look at them, but you will not be able to submit anything. That will be open on Monday. Okay, so if you are eager to do something before that, you can put your pin in the map. You can participate in the brainstorming about ICT and education, which is an outside tool called Padlet, and there are many interesting contributions that we invite you to have a look at them. If you're willing to record a video, we would ask you to say in 6 seconds, why do you teach? That's, I think, a very important reason and something that it's interesting sharing among each other. And we are also very active on Twitter. So we use Twitter to communicate, and we use it also to ask questions. So if you go here, you have several questions that you could be answering. Do you plan to do all the activities of the MOOC? You can vote. Is the hands-on MOOC 3 your first experience? Is the education a design practice? Or what do you think? Is creativity a must in education? So these are all the warm-up activities that you could be doing before Monday, besides being with us today. And I'm gonna ask Yishai if he wants to say something else about the MOOC, or anyone else in the room, Jean-François, Dimitra, or GT.
Well, first, I see there are some questions coming in. There's one which I believe is in French, so I haven't been able to translate that. Maybe you can take that one. But also, there's a question about the journal, and that's one of the, I think, the main instruments that we use in this MOOC is the design journal. It's a tool that it's like like keeping a diary of your journey through the MOOC. And there are several reasons why we want you to do this. One is that it's a tool that helps you reflect on the activities that you do. So it's writing about an experience is a way to kind of get your thoughts together and realize what actually happened in this experience and what you learned from it. Another thing is that later on you'd want to come back and it can get pretty intense and pretty sort of it seems kind of hectic and non-linear, and you want to be able to come back to later step and kind of review the journey you went through. So having these sort of short snapshots that you capture as you go along would be very useful. And finally, it's a way that you can share your experiences with your peers and see if others are sort of going through similar experiences, or maybe they're seeing things differently, so it supports a social element. Now, just as we have a journal that we're asking the participants to maintain, the facilitators will also maintain their journal, so you can first of all catch up with if you've kind of missed a couple of days, you can look at the facilitator's journal, which will give you a summary of the activities that happened in the MOOC, and particularly in your language group, over those few days. So that's a way that we know that people have a lot of requirements on their time, and that's an easy way to catch up and get back into the flow. Anything else to add to that, Muriel, or maybe somebody of the facilitators wants to say something?
Thanks, Shai. I think it's very useful to learn that there will be these 2 journals or 3 journals. So we have asked facilitators to keep their own journal. We are also asking participants to keep their own journal. These are both for reflection purposes and for reflecting and thinking about the learning process. And we also have the daily journal that facilitators will write for participants. Okay. So I'm gonna let Jean-François. Veux-tu répondre à la question qu'on a sur le forum?
Oui, quelle question, Muriel?
Est-ce lundi que nous sommes en temps réel pour la formation? Est-ce que lundi nous sommes en temps réel pour la formation? Sommes-nous présents en temps réel ce lundi? Si oui, quelles sont les heures de présence, s'il vous plaît?
Donc, si je ne me trompe pas, Muriel, on ne peut pas vraiment dire qu'on soit là en temps réel, n'est-ce pas?
Exactement.
C'est plus donc un contact, une interaction asynchrone. Mais il y aura des retours, des feedbacks quotidiens et plusieurs facilitateurs qui se partagent la tâche pour pouvoir être assez présents. C'est-à-dire qu'il y aura un retour quotidien. Je crois qu'on peut dire ça. Mais un retour en direct, je ne pense pas que ça soit l'idée, non?
Oui, une fois par semaine en français, oui.
Ah, oui, on peut ajouter qu'une fois par semaine, il y aura une rencontre, une session de convergence, on les appelle, pour les gens qui veulent se porter candidat et pouvoir interagir en direct avec les facilitateurs, avec Ishai et peut-être Muriel aussi, la première semaine, et ensuite entre nous avec les facilitateurs en français. Voilà.
D'accord, merci. So there will be, the course is asynchronous, so you don't have to be there anytime. It's just that we are offering 7 convergent sessions, so Google Hangouts meeting, 7 per week, 1 per each language, right? So each language will communicate through their discussion forum the time and day of the convergent session, where you can interact at the same time with facilitators and with other participants. So the activities, I'm answering another question, the activities can be submitted in English or in any other of the 6 languages, right? If you want to participate in English, then we suggest you to join the English group, but you could also join Catalan, Slovenian, Greek, Bulgarian, or French. So it's up to you to decide. The thing is that you can, and Spanish, oops, sorry. The thing is that you can decide and you can only join one of the groups. So choose the one you prefer and the one you will be communicating through and doing your activities. Yeah, I think that's all. I don't know if Dimitra, GT, and Yeshai that are still here. Do you want to say hello? Yes. Thank you, Jean-Francois. So you can also participate on in your own language on the warm-up activities, in the Twitter. So any of the 7 languages or any other languages, but we may not be able to understand it, you can use. So the idea is that it's a multilingual MOOC. The materials are in English again. They are in English, and we expect you to have a little level of reading English, but then you can contribute, communicate, speak, and write in your own language. Okay. Isha, you wanted to say something else?
Yes, I just want to say personally, it's perhaps the 3rd MOOC that we're running with the Learning Design Studio model, and we've also used it for several university courses. But every time is different. Every time, and I admire Muriel and your team for being so courageous and experimental and trying new things. This kind of multilingual MOOC was participation in 7 languages. I don't know of anyone who's done that before, so I'm really excited about this. Really looking forward to a lot of surprises in a few weeks, and looking forward to see everybody's work. I'm sure we'll be seeing great stuff coming up, and so yeah, just make sure you have fun.
Thank you. Thank you, Shai, and thank you for reminding us that it's exploratory, so that some things may be a little bit key, but we'll try to figure out how to solve everything, and you will also receive weekly surveys to provide us with feedback. There is another question about the journal. The journal, ideally, it's open within the learning environment, so it's open to your group in your own language, right? It's because it's a sharing process. We are all learning from each other. Even facilitators, we are learning at the same time as we are doing this MOOC. So it's more useful if it's open. But if you prefer to have it private, then you can do it. But it's really much more interesting to learn from each other, and it's really a very enhancing experience. So I think that's all. Maybe, Dimitra, do you want to say bye and remind the Greek people at what time you have the convergent sessions in Greek? You need to mute the micro. The micro.
Now?
Now, yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Κάθε Πέμπτη θα έχουμε μία συνάντηση στις 5 και θα μπορούμε να ανταλλάσσουμε πληροφορίες και να επιλύουμε οποιασδήποτε απορίες έχετε σχετικά με τις δραστηριότητες. Γεια σας και καλή μας αρχή. Thank you, Muriel.
Thank you, Dimitra. So also we are happy to say that the second MOOC we had a lot of Greek participants, and they were amazing doing all the work, and we are happy to see some of them back. So we have several people returning to this new MOOC, and the good thing about the Learning Design Studio and this MOOC is that you could do it as many times as possible, because every time you're designing a learning activity that it's adapted to your context and your students. So welcome back to those that already were here for the second pilot, and we look forward to seeing you all next week. Okay, thank you very much for today's session, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.